He knows it doesn't matter what's under a hood. The only thing that matters is who's behind the wheel.
When I'm flushing it, I don't stick to this.
But again, with the driver right now, the driver sucks.
I tried to activate my glutes the best I could.
Most important thing, make sure you fade it.
Hello, and welcome back to Under the Covers, a golf podcast where we deep dive each week into the latest PGA Tour winner's bag. We're your hosts. My name is Dominic, and I'm joined by Kevin.
Thank you, Dominic. I'm excited that we've got the TGL finals while we're recording.
Absolutely, Matt's favorite. And speaking of, we have Matt with us.
Hey, Dom. Thanks for having me on your program. Unfortunately, per Garrett from Good Good's last post, they're infiltrating my home golf course. I'm very upset about it.
Uh-oh. So we actually have a very special one for you today. Under the Covers officially has its first guest. He hails from St. Louis, Missouri, North County. What's up? He started his career as a young entrepreneur, franchising and learning the ins and outs of running a business. His business acumen and sales skills have been growing, but just like us, his love for golf and entrepreneurial spirit reigned supreme. So he created a side hustle, wheeling and dealing golf clubs out of his car like Uncle Rico in his luxury Tupperware. That grind earned him the nickname, the Arms Dealer. And since he's partnered with Kyle Walton, playing a key role in building the Gimme Golf Club to what it is today. Welcome to the show, Kenny Riley.
Gentlemen, it is an absolute pleasure to join you on this program, as Matt said that earlier. But no, I've heard a lot about what you guys got going on here under the covers, and I am excited to chop it up with you guys.
Yeah, man, thanks for joining. We're excited.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so I guess the first question we can ask is just give the people a quick rundown of what the Gimme Golf Club is. We've done a few tidbits here and there, but we want to hear from the source.
Yeah, the Gimme Club is a super special place located in St. Louis, Missouri. We have one location in St. Charles, and just a couple blocks up from the historical Main Street. And our newest location in the South House is in Fenton, Missouri. But in essence, Gimme is a family. We have just under 600 members over those two locations and spread out over 18 public golf courses here in the St. Louis metro area, where all of the almost 600 members have unlimited access to those courses. A community, it basically started off with a digital community that now has a few physical locations, and it is the number one spot that if you are a golf sicko, welcome home.
Heck yeah. That was awesome. I didn't realize you're up to 18 courses now.
Yeah, we had two extras this year, and I got to play the Falls this afternoon, and the place is just dialed. Got to talk to the head office there, make sure everything's good. They've already said that Gimme has come full force, and everybody is fantastic. They're excited for a good season.
Beautiful. Yeah, Kevin graciously invited me to the clubhouse, and I felt like a kid in a candy store. I was just like, this is what the golf world needs, especially Minnesota. It's itching to have one up here, but yeah, it's awesome what y'all done with the place.
No, I appreciate that.
The first time I met Kevin and he explained what the Gimme Golf Club is, I was like, man, if Dallas had that, it would be the most popular thing in Dallas. Like people would join it left, right, and center. You'd have thousands and thousands of members. Dallas is screaming for something like that.
Yeah, Dallas is a crazy market. Obviously, a little different than up north where Dom is, but it's kind of that interesting back and forth of like how long your golf season is, what the true want is there for the community, and you see it now with a lot of these simulator spots popping up, and a lot of these people are family members or outside influences are always like, are you concerned about the rise in these technology based places? And the team and I always say no, we welcome it. It's to the point where if more people are swinging golf clubs, then that means that those are all potential members that we would have never touched anyway. But the biggest thing is that the Gimme Golf Club is a club. It is not a sim spot. We have simulators, but we give them away like candy. And what we try to do is establish a community and a healthy culture for the golfer, whether you're new, you're seasoned, where you've been playing the last 20 years, or if you're a single mom and thought it looked fun, then come one, come all. Gimmy's the place.
Heck yeah.
Was that a recruitment pitch for single moms?
Hey, I mean, well, I don't know if you were there, but that one we do this potluck, which is a weekly skins game, and this lady and her son, she was like, "Well, I don't have any golf clubs," and we're like, "We have golf clubs for you," and she's like, "Well, I don't really know how to play," and we're like, "Yeah, you should play with us for sure."
Neither
And
do
she
we.
did, she did. She hung around for a couple holes, and it was awesome. It was totally outside of our norm, but it was pretty awesome little spectacle right there for sure.
That's a fun story. Everyone only.
That's
There's
right.
a beautiful
That's right.
tagline. I also wanted to shout out, they have an awesome YouTube channel, Gimme Golf Club, and they have some really cool videos. Kyle has been incredible with the video and pictures, and those Bandon trips are awesome. I'm curious if you and Matt can swap some war stories. And then also their merch. Kenny's got a hoodie on right now, and then I have the arms dealer. Literally,
Yeah, you do.
Kenny's on my back right now. It's incredible.
Yes.
That's
I
good
love
stuff.
I've got my 8.1 t-shirt on. The saddest place in the Gimme Golf Club is 8.1 feet away from the hole.
I love that.
8.1 is way too common. Happens way more often than 7.9. And for anyone who doesn't
Yeah.
know the reference, that is an automatic one putt versus a two putt.
Oh,
The cartoon golf world is crazy, but yes, it is brutal. It is brutal. The most disgusting department of the Gimme Golf Club is the 8.1 Club for sure.
Cartoon golf world. That's good. Yeah, and for people who don't know, because we are international now. We have a couple
Yes, you-
German listeners. So Guten Tag. I don't think that's right. But so in their clubhouse. In their clubhouse, they have 3 simulators. They have a barber connected to the loopers, awesome bar. But in the back, whenever they do their skins tournament, they keep a putting green, 8-foot gimmies. If you're inside that 8-foot circle, you got to earn it. And I think that's one of the cooler things that I've seen an indoor league do.
it's like TGL before TGL, but better.
Yeah.
Way cooler than TGL.
Some would say that to be true, Matt. You're absolutely right. But what's wild is that the skins nights can be anywhere from 20 to 60 people, and when someone does have a skins putt, Matt, this is the rule. The person putting for their skin is the only one allowed on the putting green, and no matter who's in the room, you can say and do whatever you want while they putt. Whether you want them to make it to cut a skin or whether you want them to miss it so you can save your skin, it's an absolute riot in the
Man,
game.
that's good stuff.
I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah, you got to check out their Instagram. On their stories, I'll always post them.
Yeah, Dom, you'd probably slide in a little clip of one of my eagle putts I made.
Get fooled, we can't get fooled again.
My first ever putt attempt with my PLD was for a skin. It paid for itself in one
That's
stroke.
right.
Let's go. And then we even talked about the putting competition from the Lion Share, their member guest. That was electric.
Still TBD if Dom was anchoring, but I'm still investigating that.
Check the tapes.
I want Dom to take his shirt off with Akshay side by side and do a anchoring test and see who's actually anchoring.
I don't know if anyone wants to see that.
There's a few people out in Germany and Switzerland that I'm sure they do.
I think you're right there. I think you're right. With Kenny on as our first guest, I think we want to introduce a new segment with everyone that comes on the podcast, and that is what's under the covers for our guest. So, Kenny, what are you rocking on the driver these days?
Well, the driver is a Wilson Dynapower Carbon. This is a 2023 model, 9 degree. It's right off the rack, but I do have this. There's a gentleman out in Michigan who hand rolls driver shafts and is credible and very unique. And I went through the whole system. I didn't tell him anything about who we were or what was going on. Went back and forth for a few weeks, and what he's got as far as his product is pretty darn special. I really enjoyed the whole process, how kind of nitty gritty he got with wanting to see more data and feel about feedback. It's kind of the same way I do with the customers we have and the members here at the club. But yeah, really excited about the whole process, and it's working out really well.
What do you mean hand rolled?
So how graphite works is basically there's different angles of the material that you can angle at certain ways for certain kick point and basically torque rating, and there's just very specifics on what angles and how you layer them, more material versus less material to kind of reach the desired specification of each player. So he takes it to the nth degree, and kind of he's got his total weight of material and how he layers it and how he weights it, and he knocked it out of the park for me, for sure.
That's crazy. So what I wanted to touch on too is you and Matt Fitzpatrick have something in common. You're both
wearing Skechers.
You're both equipment free agents, which is massive news. So what was your driving force on choosing this Wilson Dynapower?
Well, kind of an interesting thought there is, I mean, the amount of gear that we get in for the members and for the inventory that we hold. I hit everything at least once, and the Wilson came in. I think we brought it in when it came out, and I commented on it was probably the straightest driver that I've ever hit. Hit fairways blindfolded, and I was like, that's pretty neat. So I think I gamed it, and then was kind of trying to reach for kind of maximizing if then any distance out there. But I don't hit the ball a long way, but I will say this is that I'm surprised if I don't hit a fairway with that thing. And to be real, against all the brands, even the newer models, nothing's kicked the king out of the throne. And it's staying. It's good. I love it. So nothing's really challenged it. Of course, I always try to scare it back out of the bag, but it's got a pretty solid spot right there.
What was it? What was that driver you were testing out a couple weeks ago? Weren't you playing with Callaway?
Yeah, so that was an interesting one. Messing with the length of the driver shaft. This one is a 2016 zone Callaway Great Big Bertha Fusion.
Ooh.
Which is the big triangle looking thing, and I loved it. It's just a little goofy. Measures at like 44 and a quarter. Super awkward to look down at the ball at, but low spin, easy to hit. It's literally, so a buddy of mine owns a golf shop out in just outside of Tennessee, and I was like, hey, I've always loved this. I saw that you had that. How much you want for it? And he was like, well, it's in plastic. And I go, from 2016, you still have it in plastic. So my guess is that no one's been after this thing. What do you want for it? And he was like, well, maybe like $250. And I was like, I got $100 for you, and I will take it right now. He's like, yeah, that'll work. So it's straight off the rack. It's got a super light 45 gram regular flex, but to me, it's the ever thing. If I can get faster with a club and still launch it high enough and not just spin it off the planet, it's always fun to at least try that. But again, it's kind of a missing both ways situation. And then Kevin, it's been great inside. Outside, it's a little bit more volatile. So both left and right. So that was kind of a immediate like, that's going to take a back seat until we can figure that out. But the shorter driver length was definitely an interesting experiment.
Nice. Yeah, I was pretty fascinated the first time I ever learned that most tour players play shorter drivers than what's stock off the shelf. The premium of hitting the center of the face is way more important than that extra mile per hour on swing speed.
Yeah, and it's all determining on length. The longer the club, the faster one can swing it. So sure, ball speed and everything will go up. But if you're hitting a high hook into Sherry's backyard, she's gonna be pissed, man. So you might well, make sure that you get into the fairway and then make sure you hit it from the short stuff for sure.
Nice.
You were so you've tested a bunch of driver heads before we get into your woods, but did you test out different degrees of driver? We were talking about that last week a little bit. I'm curious if you kind of went higher or lower and you landed on 9.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of like the if we can take more loft and not have any negative repercussion on that. I love the idea of players who can swing it fast or fast enough to play a 10.5 up or even a 12 down. Like to me, if we're in this world of like low spin, if we can get a good launch number out of there, that ball's just going to carry forever. And very few players require the 8-degree tour. It's probably 1 out of 25 that really like can quantify that. Like, yeah, I need an 8-degree head crank down. I'm like, no, you don't.
Do
No,
you?
do you? Yeah. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? But it's I always love testing that. I do a pretty interesting thing if someone's coming in for a a no nonsense, like just tell me what the date is. I'll tape off shafts and lofts and even brands at at a certain point if someone's like a diehard brand loyalist. And I just say hit it and I just swing it to see what happens. And it doesn't always work out there, but there's a couple Cinderella stories there that someone's like, well, my God, my God, a 12-degree driver. Are you kidding me? I'm like, well, that we at least have something to go on.
Right. So tell us about your woods. Do you rock a 3-wood and then step down, or you have a 3-5?
So I have a 4-7 combination. 3-wood to me is kind of like the Achilles heel of most amateur golfers. It's just second longest club in the bag. Pretty tough to hit consistently. So a knock up and loft, it's 16.5. And this is probably one of my favorite clubs in the bag. It's an Arrow Burner TP from the tour truck, and it is just the hottest face I've ever felt on a fairway wood. It's used, it's beat up, but it's a gem. We opened up an account with Sax Parenti, the Newton golf shafts, probably about a year and a half ago. Was super interested on a high torque setting, especially for someone who doesn't have a ton of speed, something that has a little bit faster closure rate and a little higher torque rating. And again, it's something that I can kind of, I like to play a draw with most of my clubs. This thing is like an everyday, all day fade, and kind of gives a little bit of an unlocking situation there from a fairway lie. Rarely use it off the tee because I only hit the driver about 230 yards anyway. So who we kidding? I'll just blast that thing out there. But it's a super fun club. I don't think I'll ever get rid of that one either, especially that place in the bag. If you find something you like, you just don't move it.
Right.
Sure.
Man, when we started this podcast, I didn't think I'd ever mention an Arrow Burner 3-wood, but here we are, man. That's a sick golf.
Oh, dude, yes, a little deep cut right there for you, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. Kevin, have you tried any of the Newton shafts yet?
No, Kenny's told me about them in the past, and I see an ad for it every time I go on the interwebs. But no, I've never tried one. They look cool. The high torque kind of scares me, though. I don't know that I've got the timing and rhythm like Kenny does to be able to make that work for me.
Kev hits it far, man. He doesn't need any help, man.
Right.
Well, these long drive guys, don't they play like 7-degree torque drivers? Like,
well, I didn't say that you were that fast.
Yeah,
well,
chill
I,
out.
I know,
in
but
the middle,
you would think that there'd be like something like some level of torque that like could work, but it scares me.
Well, you got to realize it's like that they're like Fulton Reed. 3 out of 5's like good, but the other 2 are like in the parking lot kind of situations, or don't even get off the ground. So it's not worth the crazy difference there.
That's true. Yeah. I had bought a shaft on eBay one time that this thing probably had to be like 4 or 5 degrees torque, and it was like if I swung out of my shoes, giant, just like either banana ball slice or the biggest hook you've ever seen. And it was like, and then if I didn't really go after it, then I could hit it straight. But I'd pop in a different shaft, and then my swing would be just all jacked up from even toying with this like eBay piece of shit. So
Yeah,
get fitted.
it's a risky road there too. You can't spend too much time on something that you're like experimenting with, which is why I like to have them put it in play. I hate driving ranges. We can get on that later. I do not believe in them. I think that you dial in on these targets that don't exist, and you think that you're the pro on the driving range, but when it really matters, you're like, yeah, I missed that one pretty good there. So my thing is like this is if you're going to put it in play, you're not going to be as crazy wild as you would be on the range, and you're going to get a true reading on if that even agrees with you in the slightest sense, for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. So tell us about your seven wood. As far as I know, you're the biggest advocate of seven woods that has ever existed.
Dom, I think I still have one for you, but I don't know. It's got your name on it, but it says, yeah, we haven't talked to him in a while, but
I knew
let
that
me
was
know if I
coming.
could put that back on the shelf or not, you know?
You're a sweetheart for letting me borrow it. Listeners, if you need some help, ask Kenny for literally anything. He's so generous. He let me borrow it for a month, and it's such a stiff shaft. It just wasn't working. It was spraying everywhere. So I had to respectfully decline.
Oh, and I actually love it. It gives us another opportunity to try something with that experience that we can kind of maybe we'll put one of those long drive shafts in there, you know, and then get a little bit more whip
Oh,
in
yeah.
there, you know.
I'm game. I'm gonna try to stack like Matt. So
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're already fast enough. Don't do that.
I live by the
Da-
stack.
Dom, what was
I
your
mean, it's a great system. It's just a tough system for most people. I would say this is a kind of a hot take here. I think that the last thing that an amateur golfer needs is more speed. I would rather them have tempo than speed any day of the week. We just don't play golf courses that are that long. I don't know. I
that's a
mean,
good point. I respect
I
that.
just I don't see the mileage there. But again, it's cool to hit it far, I guess, in some way, shape, or form.
Yep. Dom, what was your driver ball speed when you went on the TrackMan like a week or two ago? Didn't you get up to like 169 or so?
I think I did hit 170. It was
Or
171.
did you? That's sick.
But it was just barely, and it was only once. It was one of those, like, it was so perfect, and then everything else was 167, 168 and below. But yeah, that one ruined me, because the next time I went to the simulator, I was swinging way too hard, and then I played my first real round yesterday when it was 36 degrees out. That was a horrible idea. But I was so cold that I was forced to swing slower, and it got me back into swing of things.
I will hit 180 ball speed one time this year. That's my one goal.
I think you got it.
Well, I'm
180 is
close.
outrageous.
No, I'm close. I've sniffed the high 170s.
That's wild to me. That is. You guys are the pros. I can look up your guys' stats for sure.
Matt's a competitor, so he played in college a little bit, and then what's your handicap at now, Matt?
I travel at a +2, but I'm going into member guest season down here in Texas, and unfortunately, I have to play at a +3.5 for the next member guest I'm at. So I already told my member, I said, I hope you're in it for the fun, because we're not winning.
I got to give strokes back to the golf course. That's wild.
That's gnarly. So
No, that's awesome.
So give us these specs on the 7-wood you got.
Sevenwood, it's a gem. It's an Epic Max, the original Epic lineup. It's a Heavenwood, so figuration there is a 20-degree head with a 3-wood length shaft. It's a Fujikura Motori 7S. Goes up, touches the moon, lands soft like the best 4-iron. I never could hit like that ever. And yeah, dude, it is again seasoned and does not have a chance of leaving the bag. But kind of my go-to on any long par 3 or any like you said, something that you just need to hit the green and stop and not have a chance to de-green off the back. And it's kind of like it doubles as like a I use it to putt with a ton, and it's just I get a ton of looks, but it's one of the most comfortable clubs in my bag for sure.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Heavenwood is a sick name.
Oh, dude, yeah, and it sure it reaches the heavens, hangs up there for 4 or 5 seconds, starts its way back down, and it's a beautiful.
Of all
That's
the dumb marketing names that Callaway has had, the Heavenwood is actually a cool one.
They haven't
Yeah.
gone for that yet.
I'll
Yeah,
say that's
Yeah.
when it went downhill. That was their peak. Was Heavenwood.
Yep. Well, let's go into your irons. What are you playing there, Kenny?
Irons, running joke is it's kind of like this revolving door, but these are a set that we had built for a member who was trying to explore the graphite shaft realm. I will wholeheartedly say that I talked a lot of trash on these iron shafts for a long time. But I am playing a combo set of the Strixon ZXI 5 and 7s, and they are shafted with the Fujikura Axiom 125X, and they're half-inch long, degree and a half upright. Built this set. It was a toe-to-toe match. We ended up putting them in the Z Forged 2 with Dynamic Gold X7. So kind of trying to flirt with that, but at that speed and that flex, the graphite was just launching too high and too spinny. And of course, I had to give them a swing. But with these Strixons, they're a lower spinning head in general. And to me, this is the exact opposite of any build sheet that I would do for myself. But actually launching them super well, spin is kind of like mitigated. I mean, they're awesome. And I just never got over the fact that they want what they want for each one of those iron shafts. It was a really tough build for anybody that didn't really realize what they were asking for. And to quote someone, $120 a shaft, I'm just like, I feel gross. I don't know how you feel, but I don't know if we want to go do this. There's
Yeah.
a couple of options that we can do about a third of the price. But we built them. They're great. Big shout out to Barry Martin and Cody Collier putting those things together. They are awesome. Uh, Played them all through the winter. Played them through the tail end of last season, and yeah, I mean they're beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I was pretty excited when I saw them in your bag. I thought I saw the Axiom logo when you were swinging, and I had to come over and pull one out just to verify. That's
And then you're
sick.
like, oh wait, 125X, and I'm like, yeah, I don't even know. It's not me. Imposter syndrome for sure. But
That's
sometimes it's wild like that. It just kind of works out. So I'm here for it.
those are
My thought
sick.
is like, Matt, you'll get a kick out of this. I just feel like I can't even load the shaft, so I just like literally catch it on the up because it doesn't move anyway.
Yeah.
So like launch is great. You know what I mean? No worries.
Last week I told Dom, you want to feel like what the X7s feel like? Go get that flagpole out of that middle school and you swing that thing.
Oh, that was a crazy build, and he loves them with the X7s. I was just like, okay,
When
all
they're too
right,
stiff,
all right.
man,
Yeah,
they don't flex. But
insane.
So I keep chuckling. You're taking the free agent manufacturer to the bank because you have another manufacturer for your wedges.
Yeah. Wedges are weird with me. I'm usually like a diehard Cleveland guy. Really, really enjoyed, obviously Roger Cleveland and then his move to Callaway. And then I think he's kind of in flux right now, but I was a huge fan of the RTX line. The RTZ's been fantastic. But I got my hands on the new line of pings, the S259s. And I'm kind of a weirdo. I hate taking things out of the plastic. I don't. It's like laying a bike down for the first. I just can't do it. So give me something that's already been wrecked, and I'll play it from there. But one of our members is the ping rep in town, and kind of asked to see what they looked like, and the S159s are pretty darn good. I'm really really happy with the bounces and the grinds. They're easy to understand, what you need and what you don't, and then not to get too far ahead of that. Out of nowhere, left field, the gap wedge in the set is actually a 923 Mizuno JPX Tour with an Axiom 120 stiff Again, weird. It's a 110-yard club. It just does what it's supposed to, and that's what
10 yards
that's the reason.
solves the gap.
It's exactly
Do
what
you
I know it does that.
do you feel ping wedges are easier to understand balance and grind wise than Vokies?
You know, they're all kind of, it's kind of like the Titleist adapter chart. You know, you've used the same one for
Yeah.
12 years, but you still got to reference it to know what A3 is versus B3. I think ping, it's just like, you know, they've expanded a little bit of their grinds, but it's pretty much point and shoot. You know, you got your standard grind as your S. They've introduced some you know, B grind, H grind, but really it's, you know, if you like to hit a square shot, you're gonna be S. You're if you're not opening up a face, you're good there. If you are someone who likes to manipulate the club face, you can kind of deep dive into the you know the 58s and the 60s with a B or an H, and all that is basically a D grind or an M grind for like a Vokey. So some heel relief, some toe relief, and something that's just going to be a little bit more beveled on that bottom, that trailing edge. But me, no, that scares me to death to open up something like that. So square face for life, man, and well, it's, you know, they've worked out well. I think they spin pretty darn well. I think that this was a big move for ping. The glide wedges were like awful, like awful.
Pretty
No
bad.
one liked them. Even if you had them, you didn't like them, and you just were like, "Yeah, I'm waiting for the new ones." But the S model came out, and it definitely was a kind of like the step into the box for ping as far as the bottom of the bag, and I think they knocked it out of the park, especially with the new model too. You know, everybody's kind of going into the micro groove designs and how they perform with wet conditions, and yeah, there's something to them for sure, both in the S159s and the 259s.
Whenever I get fit for a wedge, I mentally just check out because they give me so many different grinds, and I'm like, just like you said, tape over the grind, let me hit them, and I'll tell you what I like. I don't know what you're gonna tell me if you tell me what the K star, whatever D T grind. It's just like I'm just gonna hit a couple, and you know, you don't have to tell me where the relief.
Yeah, and well, and I always laugh because these fitting is such a interesting ideology. You know, I laugh when I have a fitting. It's like 20 minutes of talking, and they're just like, "I'm ready to hit golf balls." I'm like, "Not yet, you aren't, because I got to figure out all of this other stuff before we do that." And usually, like you, Matt, you guys, all you guys would do this. You're gonna know within the first 5 or 6 wedge shots. You're gonna hit one good. You're gonna hit one bad. You're gonna hit one what you thought was good, and it didn't end up being good. And then you're gonna be like, "Yeah, that could work." And then you go on to the next one. You don't need to know all of the accoutrement of why that one was good. And you know, sometimes it's too much information for a lot of these players to kind of digest, and then they forget why they're even hitting it. So yeah, I'm big on testing them out, getting them dirty, and then you tell me what you think, and then we'll go from there for sure.
Yeah. Nobody on earth, I think, is as big of a ping fan as me. And I can even say that calling their wedges glide wedges just screams 70-year-old watching Golf Channel at 2 a.m. infomercial. Oh, I'm going to get the glide wedges. It's going to help me get out of every bunker possible.
Oh yeah, a little too on the nose, and yeah, I'm glad they're scrapped them for sure.
Yeah.
When it comes to grinds, whenever you're doing a fitting, is there any difference in hitting off a turf? Like, is that kind of changing what people want or how they're reacting?
I don't do wedge fittings inside.
Okay.
Because it's a perfect lie that you bounce through impact. It's negating anything that you're actually wanting outside, especially with that short of a club, and it's designed to be going through the earth. You have to be able to compress a golf ball, and inside anything that's coming down that steep, you're going to catch high on the face. You're not going to understand where that ball is striking on that wedge. So we have an interesting kind of I get looks from my from Kyle, my business partner, all the time. I just hand them out. I'm like, all right, hey, look at me, Matt. I just met you, but I need your address, and don't be a jerk, but take these with you, and I'm gonna call you in 3 days, and you're gonna tell me everything that you felt on these. And it's really more of like the fact that the Gimme Club, we don't have a ton of inventory. We don't have this warehouse. We have a 9x9 office, which I call my office, which just holds all this stuff that is spilling out into the common area. But the whole thing is that if you're going to spend 5.5 hours on a golf course and during a round, you're going to get more feedback and more like uninhibited response than you ever would in 30 to 45 minutes with hey, I'm Kenny, I'm here to watch you hit golf balls in a sim, and I'm going to watch every single one. It's just like the whole interaction is very goofy. It's very daunting, like,
Yeah.
like, hey, nice to meet you, yeah, hit this in front of me and all these other people in here, and it better be good. And if it's not good, I don't know what to tell you. It's just it's very strange. It's
You're
very
speaking to my soul here. You're speaking to my soul.
Well, it's just, to me, it's like it's if we could be anything, I want to be the easy route for people to like feel comfortable testing stuff. And the sims are great. They're awesome for like head to heads on woods and irons, but it is a simulation of the real thing. So if you if it's snowing, that's one thing. If it's a nice day, if it's I usually like to go out with that person and go play and just bring 6 or 7 and have them try them a couple different times, and that usually gets the point across of, one, I'm not just trying to get you out in an hour and sell you a club. I kind of am more in depth and in for the ride with that whole process. So kind of lowers everybody's guard down, but at the end of the day, they're not going to get that kind of treatment or experience anywhere else. And yeah, it'll be great.
I'm actually excited to hear both of you talk about this. Let's hear about your putter. I know Kevin is a huge fan.
What can I say? The Kelly and Co. Blade Z, the double wide. Interesting thing, Kev. I swapped out the neck today from the zero torque model to the plumber's neck in the center shaft position, which effectively made it a face balance putter. Fully locked with steel weights, which means that weight on that putter is just under 390 grams. So it's very, very heavy, but it was great. Hit my lines today. Me and the zero torque was a fun thought. I am just a very I'm never I don't have steel hands. I don't swing it straight back, straight through. So for me to even kind of think about that was kind of a Hail Mary thought. But the face balance kind of fought me on my inconsistencies and maybe a little bit of yippiness on the hands. Quieted everything down. I felt like I could actually lean into the stroke and make a pronounced slight arc, and the lag putts were great. The distance control was awesome. Saw 3 or 4 actually roll in from over 10 feet. So to me, was a win today for the new configuration. And yeah, I'm really excited to see how it's going to do when these greens start to speed up and lines are a little bit more true. Ball's going to be rolling end over end. But today was it was a dream.
Yeah, the Kelly and Co putters are awesome. The feel of the face and the milling is so pure. Me and Kenny looked at this putt that I had deemed an unmakeable putt in the Gimme Golf Club, and I think I made it 5 out of 7 times. Yeah, uh, even with that, I was still questioning it. I was giving Kenny the hardest time possible about like if you're changing the weights, you're changing the CG, and then we had some expert analysis. I did my own analysis, figure out the sweet spot would only move uh 1.4 millimeters, I think it was, or maybe it was 0.14 millimeters. Either way, it was so small, not even a dimple of a golf ball, and that was with the biggest, most extreme change you could make. So if you are a low torque person, if you like that, you can really customize it to yourself and have low torque with toe hang, which is pretty like abnormal for some of the other major lines. You can really hone it in, to your stroke on top of, the low or zero torque. Um, but they're really cool. I think the feel of them is probably the best part of it to me. Just, when you hit a good putt and you get that just soft, buttery, pure end over end roll, it just strikes so much confidence and makes you feel like you can make any putt there is.
Yeah, I think the response is the biggest thing that I've heard people say is that it's not harsh, but it's not muted. It's not this soft insert, but it's definitely not like a carbon like audio thing. It's a subtle knock, and yeah, you feel like you get everything out of the golf ball that you put into it. I think it's probably that with that stainless face, you're only kind of looking at like the top end of the putters that are out that use that kind of material. You're looking at $6, $7, $800 on depending on what brand you're getting into. So to have something that you can not only try but configure to your stroke in real time is a pleasant surprise for most people who are looking to contend in that part of the bag for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, we got to get Matt and Dom a Kelly and Co to test out, and maybe Lion Share weekend.
Yeah, and I would love. We've got the single wide, which is the heel position with a short plumber's neck. We do have a longer plumber's neck that's available, and then we have 3 new necks and kind of development. One to reach a zero torque for the blade, which will be interesting. Same stainless steel face, just a more condensed profile at address. The heel shafted double wide is for the guys who definitely need some closure there. And I would say this, yeah, if you guys are in for Lion Share, it's a super easy fitting process. Kevin has done a fantastic job on kind of honing in like what are the stats that matter, what do we want to look for as far as inconsistencies, and then kind of moving back from that, how do we actually fix those with the materials and the components that we have. Big shout out to you, Kev. You kind of reopened the door as far as how to conduct those fittings in a productive way. And yeah, if you guys are in, we'll roll a bunch. You can see them all. Put the ones that you think you like on one side of the wall, and the other ones that are just no thanks, you put them on the other, and we go from there.
Awesome. I appreciate that, Kenny. And for anyone who doesn't know, the Lion Share is the member guest at the Gimme Golf Club. So real fun weekend.
Oh yes.
All right, so Kenny, thank you for sharing your bag and slipping under the covers with us. I think it's time to get into our winner of the Valspar Championship, Matt Fitzpatrick, the Skechers King. This is his 3rd career win, which is actually surprising. I feel like I've seen him in the winner's circle more often.
He wins all the time on the DP World. I think he has like 10 on the DP World Tour.
Yeah, I think right there. I did look up. He has 18 top 5 finishes in the PGA Tour, which is always a bridesmaid, never the bride situation. Finished at 11 under. He went pretty consistent, 68, 69, 68, 68. And then Sunjay M, poor guy, we'll get into him in a little bit, but had that 3-stroke lead going into it. So Matt Fitzpatrick kind of just outlasted these guys. Sunjay, how do you pronounce that? Snedeker? I don't even. I know he's a great.
He's the President's Cup captain. How can you forget that?
Dude, I was practicing for 3 days on how to say that, and I couldn't do it. And then Lipsky, which.
Who?
Some interesting notes about Fitzpatrick. So he only had 4 bogeys all week. Bogey free on the weekend. 3 of those bogeys came on Friday, which is crazy. And then, similar scores every day. He had 4 birdie chances within 10 feet on that last round, and he either lipped them or burned the edge. It was insane, and I think the announcers are saying maybe like the greens are drying up even more, something like that. But yeah, ended up hitting that long putt on 18, and you could tell he was getting some frustration out with that fist pump. But yeah, massive win for Fitzpatrick, especially after losing out to Cameron Young as well. But I think a very important question is what's under the covers?
Yes, so Matt Fitzpatrick plays some pretty fun clubs, equipment free agent, as we mentioned. In his driver, this one's exciting. He's got the Titleist GT3 with a Mitsubishi Tensei AV Raw Orange 65TX. So we've got a very similar one right here that Kenny hooked me up with. And shout out Mark Schulte for the GT3 Tensei Orange combo. Gimme Golf Club regular champ and Dayton alum.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's just add to that really quick. He's consistent with using the Tensei Orange across all of his woods, but he uses the AV Raw on his driver and 3-wood, and then the 1K Pro 80TX on his 5-wood. So let's ask the arms dealer, what's the difference between the AV and the 1K?
Well, the 1K tip me makes sense in a higher lofted wood. My guess is he's got better launch with that, or more control of his window of launch. The AV white, or I'm sorry, the AV raw is kind of a wild one to me. If I'm not mistaken, that is a counterbalance shaft. Knowing Fitzpatrick, he has been on this quest for speed, and he has done it. He has manipulated his swing every which way to gain that speed, and for his stature and package, he is per
What
square
about his
inch.
package?
Yeah, yeah. I knew. See, I knew these things were gonna come.
Well, I think
Uh,
Kevin called him Frumpy. Is that the word you used last
Yeah,
week?
I said a frumpy win.
uh,
He's
but
He's
I think he's the strongest out there. I mean, his weight to height ratio, he is just as long, if not longer, than most of those guys out there.
Benjamin Button's got some swing speed.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Um, yeah, as far as I know, because that Kev, that's a CK shaft,
yeah,
right? The
yeah,
orange, yeah.
yep, yep.
So just different levels of, I guess, materials that they use in the tips, and just tolerances on how they were. But it's an interesting choice. But Mitsubishi's probably the king of most of the graphite wood shafts, and has been for a very long time. So it doesn't surprise me that he's in there consistently through that. Do you feel that he's using it for a kind of a honing in on the crazy move that he makes on that ball?
I Yeah, I think it's got to be for speed, like you mentioned. He's been pretty vocal about trying to keep up, and the counterbalance will keep some weight in his hands, allow him to play a longer shaft, and then he can really go after it. And the Tensei Orange being a really stiff, low spin shaft is going to help him with the control, so he can let it rip and try to keep up. I was very excited to see when he won, and this being the shaft he was using. I know Tiger and Rory and some other big guys have played around with the Tensei Orange in the past. We've got some gimme golf guys who've tested them out and really liked them. I really liked mine, but it just couldn't beat my Hulk. But I keep it in the bag for on that emergency if my Hulk ever breaks. I've got a backup ready to go.
Absolutely.
I've thought about like trying to sell it or something, maybe moving on, test with something else, but I can't bring myself to actually move on from it. I'm holding out hope that one day it'll make its way permanently into my bag. All right, so moving on, we talked about the shafts, but his 3-wood and 5-wood are QI 35s. So the QI 35 making an appearance. We've heard lots about those not being a tour favorite in comparison to the QI 10s or now this year the QI 4D. So interesting that Matt Fitzpatrick likes those, but he's got a 3-wood and 5-wood. Consistent on the weight of each shaft, so 65 in his driver, 75 3-wood, and 80 in his 5-wood, which is different from what we saw with who was it like 2 weeks ago? I think that had like the crazy shaft weights.
Wasn't it Cameron Young?
Yeah,
Was it
Cameron.
Cameron Young?
Or Akshay. It might have been Akshay too. I can't remember.
Akshay is a serial, like, I like to be different, make it as crazy as you want. But kind of a insider thing there, just because of the weight, you got to be thinking that those are different lengths, obviously drivers
Mhm.
and the fairways, but the weight isn't really more. It's not anything like it's like heavier. It's just the thickness of the wall shaft on that material. So it's not so much of heavier. It's in a shorter club, and it's just stouter with the material just being thicker throughout the entirety of that shaft. So Usually as the shaft gets shorter, the weight's really important there, but he seems pretty uniform of going heavier, or at least thicker, or in essence, a little bit more stout as he goes down into the 5 wood for sure.
And it was Cameron
Awesome.
Young. He went driver was 60, 3 wood was 80, and then his hybrid was also 80.
Yeah. Matt Fitzpatrick then on his irons, the Ping I-210s on his 4-iron, and then the Ping S55 5 through 9. His shafts is a Ping CFS, extra stiff. What do we know about those boys?
The CFS was the kind of like the made for of that model. Ping is a team of engineers, so when they put together a club and a specific component match, it's usually the best of what they've done. Kind of a little insider baseball. Nippon makes all of the shafts for Ping, so they're AWTs, they're the CFSs back from yesteryear. For all of their iron shafts, Nippon is kind of producing all of that for them under that the Ping name, whether it's the AWT or so on and so forth. But the graphite component is the UST shafts. But to be honest, big kudos out to Ping, Matt in the tour department. I don't know if you'll hopefully you're listening to this. They are the nth degree on testing and confirming all of the specs, but those guys know what they're doing when they're putting these clubs together, and that's why you see a lot of these guys go back to these clubs. I mean, Victor Hovland, I think that they had to like pry the 210s out of his hands. He's probably still playing them, to be honest, but they're just so darn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 55s are just a dream.
He needs to win a tournament so we can talk about his clubs.
Released in 2013, the S55. That's crazy for somebody on tour to be playing some stuff that old, but it's cool, man. S55s, I mean, one of the best irons probably. I mean, you put irons in the pantheon of irons, and it's probably in the top 10 for sure, right? There's probably some Mizuno up there, probably a couple of Miura, a couple Titleists, but the S55s are right up there with a lot of the pantheon of irons out there.
Well, and I think the coolest thing is it's not like a Mira or these custom national custom works, whatever. This is a marketed product sold to the masses since 2013, and he's still got him in the bag. That is, if that's not a true test of being like, you can play the same irons as Matt Fitzpatrick, you can get on eBay like Kevin does and go and find a set. You know what I mean?
If you see a guy with S55s and an old Ping hoofer bag, don't bet him. That's the only advice I can give you.
No way.
Are they, whenever they released that long ago, are they remaking these, or are they literally the same ones he had 13 years ago?
Oh, I'm almost certain that they are probably the same, or if he asked for them, they probably have some crazy vault out there in Phoenix that they have some sets there. That's a great question that I don't know if they reproduce them for the tour professionals, but it's so wild that like each one of these iron sets has a serial number, and they actually keep the records of them. It's not like they have them stocked in there, but they can recreate these irons to that spec based on that serial number. Absolutely wild. So usually it's a 2-year life cycle for Ping product. So you usually have this movement of pushing out like other major brands, but they actually hang on for a year for replacement iron. If it was 2017 and Matt, you're playing the S55s and you lost one or broke one, you could actually go back and request from your serial number a matching from that lot. And if it was in that 3-year cycle, you would have got one from the same lot.
That's new. I didn't know that.
That's awesome. That was very cool. Gotta love Ping. Gotta love Ping.
Yeah.
So then his wedges, we almost had another FMK lineup, but off by one. We got Titleist Vokey SM10s, 48 degree F grind, 52 degree F grind, 56 degree M grind, and 60 M grind. So he couldn't have just picked one of them as a K grind, but shafts in those are Dynamic Gold S300s. He's got a little cool MF stamp in there, so we know someone who does some wedge stamps, and We gotta get him some fancier stamps than just the MF mat.
Yeah. No, I love a good wedge set. Pretty standard stuff here though. M grind is a great grind, great all around. He probably doesn't have to change it. A lot of guys will, go for soft conditions, hard conditions, whatever. M grind I think is pretty versatile for where he goes, and I guess works well for his cross-handed chipping. So
Yeah.
Well, of course he doesn't need all the crazy grinds. He's just got 3 other wedges to choose from. What a
exactly.
psycho!
Yeah.
Good gosh.
That's wild. I was actually curious. So you play, Kenny. You play 58 and 54. What degree is your gap wedge?
It is a 51.
Ooh, okay. So it's right there in that same little realm. Nice.
Yeah, I mean you're anywhere. Nothing's too crazy. I would say 4 to 6 degrees, depending on how hard or how full you hit your wedges. But anything under a gap wedge to me, I don't hit anything all out, and I think that's usually kind of like that. It makes perfect sense, especially Mr. Crosshand himself. He's probably got specific distances that he hits the 52 versus the 48, and then the 56. It's pretty wild to like do the optical pat down of his bag, but again, he's Mr. Robot, so he's probably got a specific time or a way that he swings each one, so that makes sense.
So the last club in the bag is a very exciting one. We've got Bettinardi putter with a Yes Golf C groove face. So we talked a lot about what the C groove meant last week when I was making fun of Matt Fitzpatrick for cross-handed chipping and
Being frumpy.
frumpy. He's got a 12-year-old's head with a frumpy dad bod, but he plays a sweet putter. This Bettinardi is awesome, and it's really cool that he is consistent to the Yes Golf face that he played for such a long time. Yeah, really cool blade design on this one.
And he recently went back from the mallet. So he's one of the weirder ones who's gone mallet back to blade and putted better. I think he went mallet almost all last year and had one of his worst putting stat years. So
well, it was kind of like, hey, everybody else is playing mallet. You think I should give it a roll? And they're
right.
like, yeah. His brother's probably like, yeah, dude, do it. And then it was awful. But can you think about the balls on this guy? He went up to Bettinardi and was like, yeah, I mean, I'll use one of your putters. You just got to make it look like this. And they were like, but that's not what we do. And he's like, fine, I'll just play the Yes that I've just won my tournament with, and I don't have to do anything different. They're like, okay, we'll do it.
Yeah, that's
It's so wild. That's wild.
And he's got a sick Sheffield United stamp on the back. If I'm not Googled that this morning, saw a cool little. He's a big Sheffield United fan in the English Premier League, so it's got some cool customization on it.
We'll throw a picture up.
Awesome. That'll really play for our international fans.
That's right.
And last but not least, for extra credit, he plays the Titleist Pro V1X golf ball.
Yeah, and I think that the tournament itself, I found myself not, my eyes weren't glued to the screen this tournament. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm falling into the consumerism trap of lower scores is more fun to watch. And I hope that's not where my brain is at right now. But it was just a very interesting tournament.
Dude, I think the Copperhead course, like, it's not the most visually appealing, but I think it's sweet, man. Like 11 under for these guys is pretty stout. Like that, I mean, that's nearly what they're winning U.S. Opens at and PGA Championships, right? I think this course deserves a signature event. I hope they have one there. I hope it's not a B team event. Like, I would love to see Scotty Scheffler try to hit some of those shots, right? I mean, thick rough Bermuda greens, like it's a tough little golf course. It's a sneaky good one on tour. I hope it gets the credit it deserves in this new PGA Tour era. Is my big take on it.
I do love starting with a reachable par 5. That's a fun start.
Oh yeah.
A subtle handshake for these guys, yeah. But I was gonna ask, like, Matt, do you think that makes a difference for these players with the Bermuda? Because it's 100% different territory. Gosh. If you're not ready for it, you're pizza, and when you should French fry, you know what I mean? It's a bad deal.
Quick story: when I when I went from junior golf in Texas and I went to Arizona to go play college golf, and it was in like northern Arizona, so it was rye, bent grass. I felt like I could hit any chip. You could give me any chip shot. You could give me any flag. I'll stop it. Not a problem. I could get any wedge underneath the ball. And then you go back to Texas and you chip off Bermuda green or Bermuda grass, dude. It's just a different story. And then the toughest part is, you know, you have a putt that's obviously going left, and with the grain, it's going right. Like, it's so hard to read grain. It's just it messes with these guys. They do not like it, and I think that's why Scotty plays so well and stuff. Is he grew up on it, so he's used to it. But man, it's not an easy place to play for sure, and I think that messes with pros' heads.
100% agreed. 100%. It's got to be like circled on the calendar of being like, okay, we got to go early on this one. We got to go early, you know?
Yeah. And then I think the other big thing there is Sungjae, man. He's such a good ball striker, such a good golfer, but he just I've never seen him win. Like, if Sungjae is in the last group, it's almost like you bet against him now because he just doesn't win. Like, I feel bad for the guy, but when has he been like, oh yeah, Sungjae, he's gonna come out on top on this week? It just doesn't happen.
Dude, Sungjae's just catching strays from Matt over here, man.
I need to see a lot more.
That happens.
He just signed off, man. We just lost a viewer because of you, man.
I'm sorry, Korea. I'm sorry, but we need more from him. And although he lives, I think he's either Dallas or Atlanta. A lot of the Korean guys hang out in the DFW area. So I know Siwoo's out here. He's a notorious DFW golfer. But
you're talking about greens and putting. A very interesting tidbit was, and I looked on the website, PJ's website, and you know, tried to count myself, and then I used ChatGPT a little bit. From what I am understanding, including fringe chips, sand shots, bunkers, whatever, there was 133 holeouts this weekend.
Yeah,
which is insane. And I tried to look up the next highest, and it's one of those where people don't really keep track of that stat, but apparently the next highest that's recorded is like 87. Unreal.
They were talking about it on the broadcast. I don't know why. It just happens to be like people just hole out there.
I don't know.
Maybe
weird stats.
You know what I mean? They said, forget putting, dude. I'll just chip it in. Get out of here, yeah.
It must fall on like a whole moon or something, you know, that tournament.
There was some drama though. Our boy, the winner, he kind of tattletaled a little bit on Adrien Dumont de Chassar.
Thank you.
I used Google for that one.
You nailed that one, but you can't get Stricker, dude. What are you doing?
I know it's ridiculous, but he had 5 holeouts himself. But the issue was he was just playing so slow. Like, they were a hole and a half behind on that last round.
Dude, slow play. We gotta start stroking these guys. They're making $10 million. Like, you gotta get them off. Shut up, Kevin. I know.
What? I didn't say anything.
At one point, I was looking at the leaderboard, and I felt like Patrick coming home to his rock, and he's like, "Who are you people?"
Well, I would say this is I do not enjoy slow play, but I do try to put myself in these players' mind frames. A lot of these guys, especially the guys from abroad, like, they're in a new country, they're playing golf, this is what they've trained for. They've got a process. It is slower than most, but Fitzpatrick, like you said, he's got 18 top fives.
Yeah.
He's been there. He's played it. This is normal for him. That guy was probably scared to death being in that group, dude.
That's a great point. You're bringing back our German listeners.
He's probably like, okay, I got to remember all my training, or and I don't know if I would play slow. I'd probably be the opposite and just be like, I'm fine. I'll pick up. No worries. Like, I'm good. I'm in my pocket. But I think that these guys got a process in it, and it just sometimes it can drag out. And yeah, Mr. Fitzpatrick not happy about it, but he got the number one, so he can cry a river and be okay with it. Yeah.
Never seen a piece of Bermuda grass in his life, I bet. So we'll have to.
Yeah.
That's probably half the reason.
What is this? Yeah.
I feel like that kind of happened to Jacob Bridgman at Pebble, where he wasn't in it anymore, and then he had that errant shot on 18. He's just like, "Can I just get out of this hole and get out of the way, please?"
Yeah.
I don't want to play anymore. Yeah. Yeah.
Get me off this screen, please.
Jumping into news, hit some quick points here. Bryson wins his second live event in a row. It was an absolute madhouse down in South Africa. It looked like it was equal parts, like, looked like an absolute shit show. Like, you saw people, I saw some stuff on Twitter of like people fighting, and then equal parts like just South Africa sports culture all rallying around four guys trying to get them onto victory. Like, it looked like an insane scene down there. Live, I feel like, is really leaning into that like whole national open. This is the premier event. We're bringing some of the best players in the world to these countries that never see some of the best players in the world. So, super. I mean, if they can keep doing things like this, I think is where they get traction. And I think it only helped that they got Rom and Bryson down the stretch, right?
Totally.
If you get, Ian Poulter versus, freaking Bubba Watson down the stretch, yeah, you're gonna get some niche 2013 golf nerds like myself in there, but you're not gonna get the young ones in there. So I think Rom and Bryson definitely helps get some eyes to the screen. So I'm excited to see what like kind of the viewership looked like for that this week. But
it's kind of like what you're saying. Whenever we were going through that PGA Tour, the proposed PGA Tour schedule,
right?
You were saying PGA should go to those big markets, like in August, have one of the playoff in Boston because they love that playoff culture. I wonder. It seems like Liv is doing the same thing where pretty much everywhere but USA has such passion for their national sports. So I think, like you said, South Africa is just, they have that rah mentality, so they love that event.
Yeah.
I think teaming it with big names though too. It's just it's easy for them to root for.
Totally.
It's easy to be excited about some big names in your home country and have a reason for everybody to show up and show out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Bryson, I mean, we got to talk. I think he's going to be a Masters favorite, right? I think he's going to go into the Masters being like, can Bryson win the Masters? And I think if Bryson wins the Masters, he's going to ask Liv for $1 billion.
Well, he asked LA Golf for 51% of their company, right? You
exactly.
guys hear about
that was insane. And then he started talking mess about the club technology these days and how it's not really doing anything.
Right. The guy who's like the most anal club technology guy that exists.
Yeah.
Unreal.
But don't forget, he's starting the Masters, 3 shots better than anyone else because he's so long.
I'm surprised he's allowed on property, to be quite honest with you.
He's so
Kevin, I'll do you a favor. I'll report back after Monday and tell you if it's a par 67 or what I feel the par is. I will let you know.
Breaking news: our resident Matt is going to the Masters on Monday. Unreal.
Dude, I am so excited. It was a last minute invite. I'm the fourth of a fourth, I think, but I'm in, baby. I'm going.
Yeah.
I moved plans around. I paid the cancel flight, the change flight fees. I will be in Atlanta on Sunday night, and I will be in the car on Monday morning driving to the Masters. That's
awesome.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but it was it's been a wild ride. I just gotta get to the next 2 weeks. Make sure I don't piss off anybody at work, and I keep my ticket. So then the next thing is Titleist GTS. We got a secret, kind of a sneaky release. Titleist doesn't usually release until May-ish for drivers around. And they're on tour this week at the Houston Open. So new Titleist drivers, supposedly this is faster than GT model. So we'll see. GT model was pretty special, but I'd love to get it, maybe that gets me to 180. Who knows?
They look so clean.
These look so sick. I am quite excited. Just looking at them has me quite excited. Uh, Going back to my joke from last week, the meme of me walking with my ping and loving it, but looking back and seeing what Titleist got working over there. But yeah, the GTS will be very cool, and it definitely reflects with Titleist's price decrease that they came out with here a couple of weeks ago. So I'm sure they got a surge of sales, and now all those people are like, "You got to be kidding me! The next driver just came out. I just spent all these hundreds of bucks." But the GT model was so successful. No matter which one you got, you definitely bought a really good driver, and at a great deal. But another piece of golf news, I've got the TGL final here going on in the background, and I swear every time my eyes have glanced up, somebody is missing a putt. It is crazy. I keep on thinking I'm watching the same replay over and over again, but it is just miss putt after miss putt. And Team Jupiter is up 5-4 after 14, so more to come there.
Is little Kevin Kisner playing? Is he?
He's not so little anymore.
I don't think so. No.
I thought he was part of Jupe Links today because of Akshay going to India.
Oh, is he? I'm staring at LA right now. Justin Rose had a pretty sick hole out.
Oh, they must have used the script. Hey, make sure you hold this out.
They initiated owner mode like Kenny does to us at Gimme Golf Club.
Owner mode.
Yeah, hotkeys. It just goes in. Yeah.
So going into the Houston Open, really cool tournament. If you're not familiar with it, Houston, pretty big golf market. But one of the cool things they do is Memorial Park Golf Course hosts this tournament. Public track, less than $50 if you're in the Houston area, Houston zip code, to play a golf course they play on tour. Gets, I would argue, probably the most rounds per year for any tour golf course that they play all year round, for sure. Maybe Pebble gets more, which is an insane stat, but I would go out on a limb and say Memorial Park gets more than Pebble with the amount of tee times they push through there. I've probably played this golf course 100 times back in my heyday. So Houston match play used to be at Memorial Park before it was redone. So before it was redone, it used to be 18 of the identical straight holes, just 18 straight golf holes, all the same, bunker at 285, green, circle green, bunker right and left. Every hole was the same. Tom Doak and Brooks Koepka came in and redid it. I played it a couple years ago, and I thought it was Gil Hanse, and I was like, man, I usually like Gil Hanse courses, but I friggin' hate this one. I just realized it was Tom Doak, which makes total sense because I hate Pacific Dunes and I hate this place. So he ruined it in my eyes. But otherwise, cool event. Big wide fairways. You can hit driver literally anywhere.
And you hate that.
Yeah, I didn't have the speed back then like I'm working towards now.
Got it.
And there's only like 20 bunkers on the whole place.
Yeah.
Which is
sounds
wild.
awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's great for us.
Yeah, sounds like my kind of place. I wish I'd played it.
What is it that makes you hate it other than Doak did it?
Well, I don't vibe with Doak. I think his stuff is too tricked up. He put some crazy slopes in there. Things that look very out of place for Houston. The greens are all super pushed up. So every hole is like, if you miss the green, you're chipping from 10 feet, 15 feet below the level of the green. I don't know. It just doesn't, I wouldn't say that it's not good. It just doesn't, Doak's never set up for my eye. And so when I play Doak courses, I get all in a tizzy. I don't love the Doak mindset. I don't love what he's asking you to do, but you know what? I think he's able to test the pros, and he knows how to do that. So all credit to him.
So it's what you're saying is more of a second shot course. You can kind of hit it anywhere, and then you really got to dial in on that second.
For sure. I mean, if you look at it, like Minwoo Lee won, he absolutely hits the ball like crazy, and then he's maybe not the best iron player in the world, but if you hit it 330, 340 off the tee, you're gonna play pretty good out there. So.
Matt, do you have your Shell Open plaque available? Is it
I
still on the wall?
do. Yeah, right here.
Let's just shout that out real quick.
Oh. Is it not? I don't know if it comes up.
Is it fixed? Where's the one with the scorecard?
Oh, I don't know. I must have taken it down.
Oh,
Probably got lost in the move. But back when the Shell Houston Open was at
Ooh.
Redstone high school tournament, I aced the 7th hole. So 5-iron from, I believe it was 180. Knocked it in, baby.
Unreal.
Yeah.
That's
Still
awesome.
shot still shot a 68, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly.
No, I think it was high school. I was probably somewhere in the 70s at that point.
Rewind a little bit. Yeah, Kevin Kistner is playing right now. I just saw him tee off. So I glanced up and it wasn't a missed putt. It was to see Kevin Kistner. So
It's
TGL's
good.
still going strong.
It's good. It's really nice that Kevin's enjoying his hobbies these days.
Yes, yes. So with the Texas Children's Houston Open, we've talked every week about hardest holes on the PGA Tour and, some stats around the course. The hardest hole on the course, according to the 2025 season, was number 1. So you're starting off first hole as your hardest hole of the day. In 2025, it averaged 0.2 shots over par for the field, and that was 94th on the PGA Tour season. So, interesting there that you start off with the hardest. Most courses, it seemed like they were finishing holes or near the end were the hardest holes, but Memorial starts you off, with a hard one there. So I've got a trivia question for you guys. Trivia time, our weekly game, and we've got a Houston native here. Thank you, Dom, for being from Houston to add to this trivia.
Houston.
I was going to say, Matthew is technically from Houston.
Oh, you're from Houston? Oh, I didn't know you were from Houston. Oh,
yeah.
You probably told me. My brain is so just on you with Dallas. So the Astros Golf Foundation is a major sponsor of the Texas Children's Houston Open. Dom, did you know that?
I did. It's very fun. Is that what sparked the remodel, or?
Yeah, because they were going to lose the tournament because Shell pulled out.
Oh, that's right. It was Shell. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so when the Astros are not too busy banging on trash cans and wearing wires under their jerseys, they're fixing up golf courses. Who knew?
Alleged wire. Never
Alleged wire. No one ever saw it. So I've got a 2-parter trivia question because Dom can't answer the first one. I know it. So the logo of the Texas Children's Houston Open is inspired after an Astros jersey with what nickname? If anyone gets the question right, then all the others will have to chug a beer.
I know this one.
It's
It's a name. It's a nickname.
It's the nickname of the jersey that might or might not be on the screen right now.
I know the jersey you're talking about. It's the one of the Nolan Ryan jersey.
I got nothing. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Dom, you don't know?
Is it from? No, I have no idea. I can't even tell you.
Dom, any guesses? The nickname of the jersey that's behind you that is inspired the Houston Open logo?
I didn't even know it had a nickname, if I'm being honest with you.
I'll give you guys one more hint. It's also the name of a beverage.
Tequila Sunrise?
Nailed it. There you
Nice.
go.
All right, what's the second part?
So you got it right, so it doesn't count. So your question is, the Memorial Park has hosted this tournament in several occasions, 3 different instances of hosting it. And by instances, I mean like windows of time. When was the first?
Ooh. It was way back in the day.
Are we doing like exact year?
I'll give you plus or minus 5 years.
74. That's my guess. I'm
No.
shot in the dark. I have no idea.
1956.
Close. Kenny, what do you think?
1959.
1947.
Whoa!
So our boys were getting home from fighting in wars and just going straight to the Houston Open.
Yeah. I knew
There
it
you
was
go.
early. I knew it was early. I'm pretty sure that restaurant's been there since 1947. I can't remember the freaking restaurant. But it serves this. I've had that same fucking egg sandwich so many damn times.
You really hate this golf course.
Yeah. I've had a lot of losses and a lot of wins there.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I think I might have played Rob Todd on that golf course one of those.
Oh, shout out Robbie.
One more thing about the golf course, and I think we're finding out that Matt is a country club guy and not a municipal golf course kind of guy. I don't know. Maybe Gimme Golf's not the place for Matt.
Yeah, I don't think so. A little high and mighty over there, Matt.
My golf course is open to the public, baby.
It's only semi-private. I think that brings us into our one and dones. So quick refresher, one and done. Each week we're choosing a player, and based on wherever they finish, we're adding up that placement, and then lowest score wins after the season is complete. So quick recap for last week at the Valspar. Matt went with the previous winner, Victor Hovland, and once again his pick missed the cut. It's stupid. It's comical. It's comical. Finished with a 90, a placement of 90. Sorry. And then Kevin, a little bit of drama. I've done this multiple times, so we allowed it. He went with Akshay on the podcast. Wednesday withdraw, which is just not fair. So before the tournament started, Kevin texted us. He's going Spieth, which I think is a great choice. Ended up being the best out of all of us at T11. And then I went with Jacob Bridgman and had a T14. So that brings our totals to Matt is
way in last.
Yeah, lost that place. Matt is at 279. Yeesh. Kevin is at 161, and I am sitting at 80. So I haven't quite hit that 100 spot yet, but it's coming. I can feel it. Let's go guests. You get the first pick. I think we're going to include the guests on our one and dones and kind of maybe taking the average will be fun of each time for the guests because, who knows how many guests we're going to have. So, Kenny, why don't you give us a pick? You can choose whoever you want. Clean slate. Who are you going for with Texans, Children, Houston Open?
Kind of a, I know I checked earlier. He's actually, the odds are kind of in his favor, but I'm going to roll with Minwoo. I think the speed is there. Obviously, you've got Mr. Scotty Scheffler up there, but I think that if anybody's due, he is. So I'm going to kind of attach to that cart, and I think that he could have a good week for sure.
It's a good pick.
Thanks.
I like that.
It's a good pick. Ranked number 31 in the world right now.
Previous winner.
I'm going Alejandro Tosti. Notoriously plays well at the Houston Open. Loves the Houston Open. Has a little Argentinian flair. Loves the Spanish vibe down in Houston. We're going Alejandro Tosti.
I would have bet the house you'd throw some random name out there. All right, yeah. Kevin, who do you got?
Yeah, Matt can't keep missing cuts if he picks people who are highly ranked. I'm going to go with the world ranked number 27 golfer, Ryan Gerard. Never heard of him before. I'm stunned that I don't know of a golfer in the top 30, but never heard of him, and I see him on the tee sheet here.
Fun Ryan Gerard story. To get into the Masters this year, he flew in December to Mauritius, which is in Africa, to go play the Mauritius Open because he was 51 in the world rankings. And he got second to go to 50 to get an automatic bid into the Masters this year.
That's incredible.
Crazy story. Yeah.
I like him even more now.
True wild card.
I'm just realizing that I didn't check the actual tee sheet to make sure my choices.
Yeah, Dom has to check the actual. He's
Yeah.
picked. Is it 2 times he's picked somebody that's not on the tee sheet?
Yes.
I thought it was just
once.
Kurt Kitayama.
Yeah, it was Kitayama, and then
It was Max Homa. Did you pick Max Homa?
Yeah, I picked Max Homa, and then you almost you got kind of scared with Adam Scott that one time.
I did.
Hit Kenny as a penalty for Dom the first time picking someone who withdrew. Me and Matt get to tell him when he has to take a shot at a random point. So I think I might redeem mine right now.
Fuck.
Oh my goodness.
You dirty dog.
Which I know I've got one coming back my way for the Jordan Spieth pick.
So my first option is not on the tee sheet. I feel like it would fit his game a little bit. I was going to go Corey Connors. Been playing well lately. Really good long iron player. But I think what I'm going to do, and I think this is a bit dumb with how inconsistent he's been this year, but previous winner, typically plays well. Give me the Swaggy P Tony Finau.
Okay.
Good pick. Hits it a long way.
All right, let me get a shot. The only whiskey I have is one I didn't want to shoot. So this is rum that I got for my honeymoon.
Ooh.
I know it's a cool label. It's not the best to shoot, so cheers to Max Homa.
Cheers, Max.
Well done.
That was a bigger shot.
Good stuff.
Bigger shot than I thought. All right. So smooth. So what we've been doing lately, we've been keeping track, and I'm going to throw these on the screen and try to explain these for the listeners out there. But this is our manufacturer tracker that we've been kind of playing with. And kind of wanted to touch on some highlights. Currently, the driver manufacturers are a little bit split. TaylorMade's ahead in most of these categories, but they're in the lead with 3. Callaway Ping Titleist are out 2, and then there's a Strixon win in there as well. And then the very interesting one in the fairway wood department, it is 9-1 TaylorMade to Titleist, which is very interesting. And
yeah, it's mostly either. Well, actually, QI35 is 3, QI10 is 2, and then QI40 is 2 as well. Yeah, I mean, QI anything from TaylorMade from the fairway wood department is going to be pretty good.
It's insane. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, TaylorMade is leading every category. The biggest discrepancy is fairway woods. So irons are at 3. Bridgestone is the next at 2. Wedges are tied with Titleist at 4 and 4.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yep. And then for putters is, the talk of the town these days is that Spider.
Spider dominance, man. It seems to make every putter a somewhat good putter. Like, even if you're a bad putter, I think it figures out how. I mean, Brant Snedeker was using it this week and killing it. So,
is there any technology in the Spider that stands out to you?
It just has a high MOI. Kenny will probably know more than me about the tech in it, but
I still think it's one of the ugliest putters I've ever seen. So it's that's a hot take on me, but I think that it probably sits like with that short slant, depending on what model you're thinking at. But most of the people, you either got the Rory style with the crank neck or like the Scheffler style with that short slant. It probably it looks a little bit more traditional, something closer to a blade. But like Matt was saying, just the high MOI is going to be an easy putt. But you got to realize that these guys are putting on glass. Anything that's going to start on line and roll true, any bit of confidence is going to help them. I don't know. I think that Fitzpatrick's probably, I love that he's just like, nah, I tried it and I'm back to a blade. I think more people probably putt the better defensive putters with a blade rather than a mallet. It's kind of like you've got to hole it or at least, hit it just perfect to judge speed. But I don't know. I never caught onto the face. I just couldn't look at it personally. But yeah, I mean, everybody's using them. A hark back to the Fairwoods. I think that they've had the best fairway woods for a long time. You know, the faces are great. The manufacturer, how they design them is great. Still don't know why they put carbon faces on their drivers, but that's I'm done. I'm off my soapbox, and there you have it.
We'll save that for another episode.
Yeah. I got a lot to unpack, but yeah.
I think the next thing to go through is just total wins. So again, the categories are driver, woods, irons, wedges, and putter, and they're all separated by manufacturer. TaylorMade is currently winning at a total club count of 24, and the next highest is Titleist at 10, which is pretty jarring. That is quite a bit of discrepancy there.
They're having a good year, but
we'll see if it lasts.
Yeah, we'll see when the big boy tournaments come up who's still riding.
Is there anything else, guys? What do we think?
No.
That's all I got.
Beautiful. Well, again, thank you so much, Kenny, for joining.
Yes.
This was so much
Thank
fun.
you, Kenny.
This is great.
No, hey guys, it's an honor. I appreciate you guys very much. I know these productions are not so simple. So for you guys to have your prep ready, having a segment by segment of this show, congratulations. You guys are doing a great job, and I was very happy to join you guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And on that note, follow us on our socials: Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Twitter, all the fun stuff, TikTok, at Under the Covers Golf. Excited to watch the Children's Texas Houston Open. Can't wait to see who wins and kind of see what's under the covers next week.
Shout out Tillman Fertitta for keeping the Houston Open alive.
He knows it doesn't matter what's under a hood. The only thing that matters is who's behind the wheel.
When I wash it, I don't stick divots.
But again, with the driver right now, the driver sucks.
I tried to activate my glutes the best I could.
Most important thing, make sure you fade it.